I'll call the regular meeting to order. Roll call.
Here.
You better know it.
Mrs. Shute?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Donella? Mrs. Jenkins? Mr. Augustine?
Here.
Mr. Fodor?
Here, present.
Mr. Hack?
Can I have a motion to move into executive session?
We move into executive session in accordance with Article 2, Section 6-4 to prepare for conduct review negotiations or bargaining sessions with municipal employees concerning their compensation or other terms of employment.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes. Okay, you want to close that door?
Makes much difference.
Yeah.
You're right through the door. Close it anyway.
Did you get my,
Let's call the regular meeting to order. Roll call for executive, please.
Mr. Augustine?
Here.
Mr. Fodor?
Present.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Donella? Here. Mrs. Jenkins? Mrs. Shute?
Here.
Mr. Hack?
Can I have a,
Can I make a motion to excuse President Hack and Ms. Jenkins? Man, how quickly things come and go.
Second.
all in favor?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Oh, wait a minute. In consideration of those around you, please turn off your cell phone and other electronic devices. Thank you. Now, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I would like to, as discussed in executive session, I would like to make a motion to add an emergency amendment to the agenda to add a fact-finding report for approval by council.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Donella? Yes. Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
I'd like to move to approve the fact-finding report.
Second. Mr. Fitzgerald?
No.
Mrs. Donella? No. Mr. Augustine?
No.
Mr. Fodor?
No.
Mrs. Shute?
No. Motion denied. Is that? Okay. So now, do we need to have this agenda approved now that we've made that change?
It's already done.
Okay, great. The invocation will be given by Mr. Fitzgerald and followed by the leader.
Almighty and gracious God, we thank you for the freedom in which we live in this nation. As we gather tonight to conduct the business of this city, we pray for your guidance that our words and deeds will be worthy of this freedom and of benefit to all our citizens. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for 16.
Second.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Donella? Yes. Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes. We will now recognize visitors. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak. When called upon, please use the podium. Clearly state your name and address in the microphone and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Any dialogue must be conducted through me as acting president of council. All your comments and questions can be addressed to the administration board.
Ray Sternot, 346 Birchwood Lane, Painesville, Ohio. Mr. Hack, you're looking lovely tonight. At the end of last council meeting, Councilman Fodor, citing support from Councilman Augustine, suggested that something be done about parking problems in the neighborhoods in the city. He suggested changing setbacks. In my opinion, Mr. Fodor's suggestion falls significantly short. As a resident of Painesville, I've personally been stating that on-street parking, for road design or designation, have been an ongoing issue for many years. I cite Heisley Park and Liberty Greens as two recent examples. I've heard even that the roads in these developments, when initially planned, were scheduled to be wider, but that option was possibly nixed by a former city administrator. So clearly the parking problems in the city is one that has been supported by past councils and planning commission. So I don't think mere suggestions will cut it. As a member of the Painesville Planning Commission, I requested the following. Roads be wider for new developments. The ratio of garages, car spaces per household will be increased. Increased buffering from train tracks and major traffic roads. But without direction from council to the administration to act and make these types of zoning development design changes sooner rather than later. The Planning Commission will be limited to what rules and planning member opinions that exist. Bottom line is that there doesn't seem to be any real priority to make changes to improve parking within the city neighborhoods. In fact, some planning commission members, I believe, think that there should be less car street parking and less buffering for noise at Painesville than what is currently required. So suffice it to say, I disagree. Not Chicago, New York, where the city has invested heavily in public transportation that supports higher density neighborhoods. And we need to properly plan developments for citizens and not just cave to developers wanting to minimize their costs. So rather than suggest change, I'm suggesting that Mr. Fodor make a motion to have the administration immediately look at ways to address parking issues in Painesville neighborhoods. Actions, in my opinion, speak louder than words. Thank you.
We'll now move into the committee reports. Do we have a committee report from Planning Commission with Lynn Webb?
Good evening. At Thursday's Planning Commission, we heard a conditional use permit request from Ohio Energy. Ohio Energy is located at 305 West Prospect Street. They had a conditional use in place for 5 years. This would be the 6th year that they were approved to allow for a commercial recreational use in an M1, M2 district. There's a 15-day hearing requirement. You all should have received your notification. You can call it up for a public hearing. If the 15-day passes without one, then the conditional use permit will be granted.
And the commission agreed to that. They already granted.
Yes, they did approve it. They recommended approval. As the applicant that was there indicated that this would be their final year that they would request it because they have outgrown the space.
And we'll now have a committee report from the Concord Painesville JED.
There was a joint economic development meeting this past Friday, June 15th. During the meeting, the board was introduced to the new Concord Township Administrator, Andy Rose. We reviewed the budget as we do in every meeting. We have a positive cash flow, and the board discussed reducing some of the costs as far as marketing is concerned. That was one of the major areas. They felt that, or Chris Galloway, who is the trustee for Painesville, or for Concord Township, sorry, and serves on the JED board, stated that the marketing that they've done over the past few years has been very beneficial. They feel that we can reduce those costs, and that's one of the largest line items in the budget. So they will look at reducing the marketing costs so that we can have further carryover into future years. As council is aware, Concord Township is looking, and the JED is looking at developing a downtown area in Concord, which once that development gets up and going, they thought that the money could be spent on marketing towards that. The Economic Development Committee of the JED met to discuss incentives and possible funding to bring additional businesses into the JED. JED Administrator Rita McMahon stated that they were exploring providing small incentive grants from $10,000 or less to some of these companies in order to attract them into JED. They said some of the issues or the main issue that they've had to overcome as far as bringing people into JED was dealing with the corporate income tax and their concern of the corporate income tax. So they will be looking at ways to potentially reduce that or have them pay a percentage of that to attract them into the JED. The board discussed how they would proceed forward as far as the JED is concerned, and what we're looking at is bringing the vacant parcels of land in, or strategically looking at holding vacant parcels of property into the JED. The issue of the extension of the electric came up, and while there was no change in rates that would cause for the need, Rita explained that she has met with City Manager Ireland to discuss options. We also talked about the recent ICSC conference that was attended by Councilmember Shoup, myself, Concord Township Trustee Chris Galloway, and JED Administrator Rita McMahon. The overall thought was that the conference is very beneficial. However, there seems to be a reduction in the number of retailers at the conference this year. We still have the benefit of meeting with some retailers, some developers, and a lot of analytical companies, more or less, that provide data on, or statistical data on your area. So we did meet with them and found it to be a benefit. This conference has proven to be beneficial, and that a number of businesses that are currently located in Concord, they were able to meet with them at the ICSC conference. And in order to maintain some of the relationships, what we talked about is reducing the number of people that go to ICSC possibly to 2, and limiting the time period that we're out there. Since we saw less retailers, we may be able to get all our meetings done in a day or 2. So look at narrowing it down to a day or 2. The JED representatives will be meeting with Liberty Development Group. That is one of the groups that the JED has a contract with to look at the first 7 acres in Concord. And they will be meeting with them this week to discuss the plan or concept that they provided to the JED board and Concord Township. And it was the thought of the board at the recommendation of Trustee Galloway that we stick with the plan that has been developed for the JED, and should they decide that they do not want to follow the plan that was established for Concord Township, then we look at possibly terminating the contract with Liberty and moving on. And that was the recommendation of really all the board members as well. And then we adjourn.
We're not going to move the legislation. If you wish to make a comment on legislation, you must request to do so at this time. Those making such requests will then be called upon after the meeting, and any dialogue must be conducted through me as acting president of council, although your comments or questions can be addressed to council or the administration of both. When called upon, please use the podium, clearly state your name and address in the microphone, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 1? Ordinance 2? Move into resolution 1 for reading.
A resolution declaring certain real estate owned by the city as no longer needed for municipal purposes and authorizing the city manager to sell or lease said real estate to Marvell Inc. LLC and declaring an emergency.
This legislation is meant to allow for the sale or lease of 5.84 acres under the industrial expansion agreement with Marvell.
To adopt.
Second.
Mrs. Denali?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes. Resolution 1. Ordinance number 2, first reading.
An ordinance enacting Chapter 919 of the Painesville Code of 1998, use of public ways for small cell wireless facilities and wireless support structures.
Good evening. This is a brand new ordinance that deals with the small cell wireless facilities and their support structures. In March 2017, the city of Painesville enacted a new chapter 915, which related to public rights of way to manage occupancy and use of our public right of way and to address the proposed construction of utility poles. Since then, Governor Kasich signed Substitute House Bill 478, which amends Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 4939, Use of Municipal Public Way. The new law, which will go into effect on July 31st, 2018, specifically addresses small cell facilities and their support structures and makes substantial and wide-ranging modifications to the law governing those installations within municipalities. The proposed ordinance allows the city to regulate small cell facilities and their support structures within the city of Painesville by providing standards for the installation, including design standards of such, and complies with all applicable state and federal laws. On another note, on June 5th, the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio received notification of the city's proposed enactment of a public right-of-way ordinance as required by the state. This ordinance cannot be enacted until 45 days from the date of that notice and cannot go into effect until after July 31st, 2018 because of the governor's new bill that will go into effect. So our suggestion is to, at the minimum, read it on 2 separate dates. It should be today, June 18th, and then the next council meeting, which is July 16th, and then it will go into effect on the 31st.
There's no unfinished business. This will stay on just for the first and second readings. There's no unfinished business, no new business, departmental presentations, the town master plan.
I wanted to provide council an overview of the 2009 downtown master plan and where we are today with the implementation of that plan. As you recall, the process leading to the creation of the master plan involved a comprehensive analysis and several key stakeholder meetings that were guided by city architecture and included representatives from the administration, council members, the Lake County commissioners, Lake Erie College, the schools, downtown business owners, area residents, and several other key stakeholders within the community, as well as several representatives from various organizations throughout the community. The plan emerged with the notion that great downtowns are made up of multidimensional collections of neighborhoods and capitalize on the assets that exist within those neighborhoods. And this plan distinctly focuses on the creation of 5 districts that included the Civic District, the Mixed-Use Retail District, the Riverfront District, a residential district, the former high school site, which I'm now calling the Lake Erie College District. The overall downtown master plan focuses on infill development and considers the needs for future growth, complementary uses, and each district's character, as well as the relationship and synergy between these districts that is vital to the overall success of the downtown. So I'm going to start with the Civic District and talk a little bit more about that. This is ultimately the physical and emotional part of the downtown. It's well known for its feel around Veterans Park and the influence of our historic civic buildings. The focus in this area continues to be efforts that will continue to enhance the transportation enhancement plan that was along Main Street up on the northern side of Park Place and continuing that streetscape along, defining a defined campus of civic activity, concentrating daytime activities within this district, establishing a critical gateway from the north into the downtown, and that's along Richmond Street here coming in as you come into the downtown so that you're not just hit by the beautiful park when you come in, but you actually have an entryway coming in. And promoting pedestrian-friendly environments within this district. The key projects in this district that are ongoing right now, part of this implementation plan, include the expansion of the Lake County Administration Building, and again, continuing to focus that civic campus within this area, and extending that grant for the streetscape along the north side of that property on Park Place. The next district is the State and Main Street Mixed-Use District. This area is our central business district and serves as a commercial center for the downtown. We are heavily encouraging mixed-use development infills within this area. We're continuing to encourage development interest in filling major commercial gaps that are critical to the synergies we need within this district and complement the existing fabric of the historic buildings that exist there today. We are focusing on looking for things in this district that will complement what's there today, as well as add entertainment, new office features, and housing activity into the downtown to really make this a thriving and vibrant area for visitors who come into the downtown as well as residents and the workforce. The key projects that are moving forward in this district do include the brewery, which is right now on the corner of Victoria Place here, and that's at the corner of St. Clair and Main Street. And that brewery project, you're going to see some change to the face of that brewery this summer. We just got approvals from the Ohio Preservation Office to move forward on their storefront improvement grant. So if you look at the building right now, there's actually a few different sample colors on there, and that's going to be going through design review now. So this is just a concept plan within the downtown master plan that's looking at the former hospital site. So you can tell really that the focus again in this mixed-use retail district is infill development and finding opportunities. This is where Laventicana is today. Finding opportunities for more infill development in this district. The next is the Grand Riverfront District. Instead of treating the river as the back door to the community, we want to open up the riverfront to the public and allow everyone the opportunity to enjoy this resource within our community. We're looking to optimize views of the Grand River, provide diverse recreational activities in this area, enhance the river from the neighboring businesses and residential neighborhoods, and create eventually a walkway area within this river to engage some new development along the riverfront. The key projects that have been ongoing within this area is the completion of a new fitness walk that's designed for residents and the workforce to use on a regular basis. If you haven't been down there, definitely check it out. It's a wonderful amenity to the parks. And then we are working on the redevelopment of this approximate 6-acre site, which we now control, which is the former hospital property as well as the former Lake Health District property at 33 Mill Street. This is just another look of, again, more infill development from a residential standpoint and density standpoint along the riverfront, and again, trying to engage more of a walkway in that riverfront area. Just again, a part of a concept plan within that downtown master plan. The next is the Lake Erie College District, so I just went ahead and renamed this district since now the college is working on this alongside with the city for future dormitories at the site. They did have an RFQ that was released earlier this year, and they are starting the exploration process of those dormitories. The next is the downtown residential district. So out of all the areas in the downtown, this is the one with the greatest opportunity for change within the former Lake East Hospital site. It's extremely unique for a downtown our size to have 7.5 acres open up in the core central business district like we do with this particular site. There was much discussion and rethought about the site with our key stakeholders, residents, business owners, and other key architects and community stakeholders as a part of that process. And interestingly, when we went back after our unsuccessful development agreement that we had, and re-talked with developers and architects and stakeholders in other communities that have done these recent developments. The core of their downtowns are really focused on a plan very similar to this, and we definitely saw from their standpoint that this was something that is the direction that can be meaningful development for this site long term. The overall concept that you see here was designed to create density and to transform this site into a vital downtown residential district. It's designed to create a transformation from the residential to the south into the more dense commercial district to the north, and to provide a diverse housing options that bring a variety of residential product types. It also is, there was a lot of discussion throughout the stakeholder process of engaging this site to connect and create a critical link between Lake Erie College, the Greenway Corridor, the retail district, the Civic District, and the Grand River, and kind of pulling it all together. And this is just an infill viewpoint of what that development site looks like from a concept standpoint. So the framework for which the overall downtown master plan was established was around these key planning directives. And that is to create a plan that's realizable, economically viable, and consistent with the community's core values, to reinvigorate the downtown and its surrounding, to establish keynotes in which we can concentrate meaningful development efforts, preserve the historic charm of the downtown, integrate diverse housing options in the downtown with a variety of lifestyle housing types, both rental and for sale options, and price points to accommodate a wide variety of age groups, income levels, and cultural backgrounds. Again, planning directives revolve around implementing pedestrian-oriented streetscape enhancements that are animated and timeless throughout the downtown, strengthening the connections to the parks and riverfront with pathways, signage, lighting, views of and future development, encouraging high-quality mixed-use development, organized parking so that it's accessible but discreet and non-dominating, establishing green neighborhoods, making downtown Painesville more beautiful overall, and increasing the overall tax base. So again, our concept with this site is to engage us with the Civic District so that as you're in this residential neighborhood, stepping outside, you're looking directly at the courthouse. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any related to the overview that I presented tonight on the downtown master plan, and we'll continue to keep you up to date as more progress is made.
Thanks, Kathy. We'll now have a presentation from Recreation and Public Lands.
Evening. Tonight we are going to share what we did with the Academy Recreation Department, and our new recreation supervisor, Kevin Sinker, would like to present this to you.
Good evening. I'm just going to real quickly go over programs that we ran for 2018, programs that we have remaining for 2018, and also some new ideas and also programs that we're going to be looking forward to. So these are our programs that we've already completed past few months. We had our chili cook-off to kick off the year in January, which a lot of us attended. The picture down there has Kathy down here. She took third place in one of the categories. The chili cook-off was a lot of fun. We're actually looking to change the menu next year because it was so well attended that we kind of ran out of space and ran out of some electric plugins. So we're looking to update our menu and switch to a bigger place. We got the Day of Our Social we ran in February, our Breakfast with the Bunny, and our Easter egg hunt. In the top right, you can see that's about 6,000 Easter eggs that we filled and had out in Veterans Park. We coordinated with the local elementary schools and had the different groups help us fill the eggs so that youth groups can come out and get involved. We also had our Earth Day event. New this year, we had our Kids Yard Sale, which was at Morse Avenue, where we let community members rent out a table, and then inside of Morse Avenue, we had our Kids Yard Sale. We would have liked it to be outside, but weather didn't permit that day, so we moved it inside. So we're looking forward to trying to be outdoors with that next year. And then just a couple of weeks ago, we had our fishing derby down at Red Park, which was a blast. The kids that came really had a fun time and got to go home with a lot of really fun prizes. Now we're going to go on to some programs that are for the remainder of 2018. We have some new ones along with some programs that were ran before. We're in the 4th week of our summer camp, so our counselors are working really hard, and we're working really hard to provide a safe and fun summer for our neighborhood kids. Almost halfway there. Today was a fun day. It was a hot day down at the park, down at the river swimming, so it's been a fun summer for the kids so far. June through August, every Wednesday night we have our gazebo concerts. This Wednesday we have the Big Five, which is British Invasion. They're playing some Beatles and some other classic covers, so they're fun to come out to. August 18th, we're doing our second movie Under the Stars. This year it's Field of Dreams, and we're going to also do some baseball games and different activities for the kids before the movie kicks off, so that way the kids can come down and it can be more of an experience, and then they can, as the sun starts to set, we can get the movie going. And then the next week, on August 25th, we have our 3v3 basketball tournament in the John Family Service parking lot. September, we're going to start doing some weekly soccer camps for elementary age kids, where the parents can sign their kids up and they can start learning the basics of soccer. And then starting on September 8th, we're going to do Bark for the Park to try to do some fundraising for the dog park, and this will be down at Red Park. So instead of a 5-mile, we're running it. We're going to do a little 1-mile loop around Red Park. We have different vendors and different stations set up where we can go around with our dogs and walk, and just be a fun event, and also raise some funds for the dog park. And then new this year, we're going to start some story nights with the different departments. I've been in talks with the fire department, the police department, as well as the courthouse to do a story night. We've also been pairing together with the Memorial Library to help us complete this. So basically what we're looking to do, say with the fire department on October 3rd, is to have firemen on staff read a story to the kids. And then Morley Library is planning on coming out with a large basket of books, and each kid's going to get to go home with a book. So we're looking to start this year with at least those 3 departments, with the fire department, the courthouse, and also the police department with the outreach officers. October 20th again is that Fall Fest. There was a huge hit last year. We're going to go back to that, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That's from 3 to 6 October 20th. And then on November 30th, something new this year as well. Spirit of the Season was always on the first Saturday of December. This year it's actually on November 30th, which is a Friday night. And we're taking over the tree lighting to make it more of a family event. So now the families can come out with their kids, they can see the tree lighting. We'll have over at Painesville Methodist Church, we'll still have our games and our crafts and our cookie decorating. We're going to have the carriage rides. It's going to be one whole big event instead of having them all separated out into 2 or 3 different smaller events. So I think it's going to be a lot more fun for the families if you really make a whole night out of it, starting at 5:30, going over to 8:30 at night. So that's the programs we have coming up for the rest of 2018. Next is our new recreation software we've been working on getting up and running. The nicest thing about this recreation software is free to get up and running, free to get implemented. Credit card purchases will have a small fee that's passed on to the user, so that's nice because we didn't have to worry about any fees that we have to encumber. It's just a percentage-based fee that gets tacked on to the sale for the consumer. It encourages the public to be able to register for programs online, so having to come in in person, and also by registering by phone. The software can generate detailed reports on registrations and signups, and as the individual, you can create a login personalized to you and your family, so it allows you to have your kids, any other, your husband, wife, set up as a whole family, so that way, say for our summer camp families, they can just have their account for the parents, and accounts for the kids, and it's a one-stop shop. They can click on their summer camp for the kids. If there's a 3v3 basketball tournament that dad wants to sign up for, you can go ahead and sign up for the 3v3 basketball tournament online. So it's just going to make it a lot more easier and a lot more user-friendly interface. And once it's created, you can also decide if you want to allow messages from our recreation department. So it's just another way for us to advertise and get the word out. So if you do accept that, then we can send out text and email, so that way you go to your phone on upcoming events, just to try to get the word out, other than Facebook and our typical ways of spreading the word. That's what it looks like from the front page. So when you're brought to our it's called e-tracking, you're going to be linked from our City of Painesville website. So if you click on our summer camp, it's going to say click here to sign up online. It's going to bring you to this page, and that's our Veterans Park in the background. You can create a login with your username and password, and that's where you create your whole family account. And then once you create your account, it will bring you to the next page, which looks like that, where it says register calendar and sign in. Well, you've already signed in, so you can just either go to the register or calendar button. If you go to the register, that's what our summer camp looks like. It's got summer camps week 1 all the way through 10. You can sign up for all 10 weeks at once. You can sign up for 1 week at a time. This just helps make our jobs a little bit easier, so that when Friday at 4:45, when our 40 summer camp kids, parents are coming in the office to pay last minute, they can have this option on payday Friday at 8 p.m. They can pay that evening, and then they will be sent to our report so that we know who's coming to summer camp on that Monday. And the calendar aspect of it looks like that. Would be much more filled. We can put all the City of Painesville events on that calendar, and then if you were to click on one of those links, that's the Earth Day, and that's the garage sale. If you were to click on that link, and if you needed a registration, you can click on it, it will bring you to register. So just a one-stop shop. It's a lot more user-friendly, and I think it's going to really boost our registrations and really help us out in the long run, so that we're not getting as many calls in the office last second for registration. So those are some of the new programs and new ideas for the rec department. Do you have any questions? Tom?
Yeah, when you sign in to register one of your children for summer camps, I know in the past there was always a form you had to fill out for information on your son or daughter or grandson or daughter.
The emergency form.
Yeah, is that going to be?
It would all get uploaded on there, and then that way, like with a legal disclaimer and all that as well.
Okay, that's nice.
So then my question was, with the legal disclaimer and all of that, and security of the information, and also will you be storing credit card information and keeping that?
It's all done through the credit card gateway. The credit card gateways are all PCI compliant, so that's why we're trying to find the gateway who would best fit us. The gateway that the city uses now does not integrate with that, so we're trying to figure out which gateway we can go with. But they all need to be PCI compliant, which meets the Visa standards. So, any more questions?
We're going to move into administrative reports. Law Director, Assistant City Manager,
I have nothing additional.
correspondence.
The next regular council meeting will be held Monday, July 16th at 7:30. The Painesville Farmers Market has begun and runs every Thursday from noon to 4. There is a town hall meeting next Monday, June 25th at 6 p.m. at Maple Elementary. There's also a town hall meeting next Tuesday, June 26th at 6 p.m. at Elm Street Elementary. The subject of both meetings will be AMI. There will be one more town hall meeting at Heritage in July. The date is to be determined. It is not necessary to attend all three. The topic will be discussed basically at all town hall meetings. There is a work session Wednesday, June 26th at 5 o'clock in courtroom 1. The topic is roads. Party in the Park is July 13th, 14th, and 15th in Veterans Park. Farm to Table is July 25th from 6 to 10 p.m. and pride articles are due July 6th.
Thank you. Closing comments? Tom?
Just to thank the departments for their presentations. They were very interesting and very good. Thank you. That's it. And you did a good job, Christine.
Nice work. I just want to mention that I had the privilege of going on Saturday to the Taste of Old Mexico. It was held in Spring Falls at what is called the Federated Church Family Life Center. The food was wonderful. I think a local restaurant in Mentor actually provided the food. And there was a plethora of entertainment, costumes and music. And they actually put up the different regions of Mexico on the screen, and the entertainment correlated with the different regions that they were featuring there. And I didn't realize it, but it was a fundraiser. I knew that, but with the fundraiser, actually, money was going to be benefiting the new center that they're trying to create here across from St. Mary's Church. I really didn't know that going into it. I don't know, I must have missed that in the flyer, but it was interesting to see that. And it was very well attended, and there were people from all over Cuyahoga County, met some people from Shaker Heights, had some very good conversations. It was a real nice night. That's all I have.
Mr. Porter?
Nope, I'm good.
Mr. Austin?
I have a couple things here. First, I wanted to mention that myself, Councilman Fodor, Councilman Fitzgerald, and President Hack all went to the Empowering Local Leadership Conference. There's so much to talk about, but really, what was most impacting to me is the networking that we were able to do. They invited local leaders from all the communities around us, from Lake County, Cuyahoga County, and Geauga and Ashtabula. And we were able to talk to, I was able to meet Andy Rose, the new Concord Township Administrator, as well as council people from Mentor, mayors from different communities. I was able to meet the account executives from Dominion Ohio Gas, and I thought that that was just invaluable. And thank you, Valerie, for setting all of that up for me. I appreciate the legwork. And then also I wanted to give an update on the 2 vacant positions on the Park and Rec Committee. The city did some advertising on the position. We had some people respond, and we held some interviews, which were done with myself, Councilman Fitzgerald, as well as Vice President Shoup. And I would like to make a motion to appoint Brian Jones and Tracy Sullivan to the 2 vacant positions on the Parks and Rec Committee.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Donato?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.